folks, today we're going to be picking another multi-lock. This one is the MT5 Plus, and if you look at the key you can see that it has 5 pin-in pins just like every other multi-lock. They are smaller than some of the other multi-locks that are out there, particularly the interactives and stuff. It has what they call the alpha spring here, which is just a little, it's kind of like the interactive element. It works the same as a interactive plus, and it just pushes up on this, what's effectively the 6th pin, and when I got the lock you'll see that. Plus it has 5 sliders in it. So yeah, it's a bit of a bear. Tensioning this thing is a pain in the butt. This one is installed in a NE10 lock body, and it works flawlessly. It's not a spring-loaded core. It is key retaining. You know, nice heavy shackle, nice heavy body, typical of multi-locks quality. It's funny too because you know, I bought these from Multi-Lock USA and the website, and I was under the impression that this was an American lock, and then I found out it was an Israeli lock from somebody else's video. Either way, it's one of the best. You know, I don't care who makes a lock. You know, I'm not, you know, brand nationalist with that sort of thing. It is an incredibly well built lock. It is still my favorite lock in the world in terms of just the engineering, the quality, the mechanism. You know, you'd be hard-pressed to find a lock that is this complex within this price range. I believe this one was, in the lock body, was $120, an MT5 Plus. You can get just the core for, I think, around like $85, $90, so it's comparable to, you know, buying a retail, you know, high-end commercial lock. And it's just so much better engineered than most other locks. But things you're going to need to gut it, this is the standard, you pretty much use this in Schlags and stuff. Most locks will take this follower. I like to have a set of regular tweezers in addition to my pin tweezers, and then you will need both a flat and a Phillips head screwdriver to do it. As for the tools, I've got some honest long shi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Picks with some southern tips that I had already made down. I'm using these. These aren't like the perfect sizes for it, but I've been able to pick all the various components. And then I've got this one, which is my really, really small finger pin pick from working on my Schlags. That I also use for the sliders. And then you're going to need something to hit that the alpha pin. I just use a Peterson diamond, 25 thousandth, nice sturdy. It'll get in there and pop that open for you. It's not actually hard to do. And then standard Z-bar. You know, this is the one that came with the Southern kit. I'm so glad I've got new handles for those pick tips, because the Southern handle is, it's just harsh. It cuts you up. But at any rate, I'm not gonna keep going too far along on this. We're gonna get this thing locked up in the vise, and we're gonna get to picking. All right. Looks good. Light tension. Start with the alpha pin. Come in with a fairly thin hook. And we're just going to try and get them set. Now when you're trying to set these, you get the very faintest of clicks out of them. This isn't like a standard pin tubular where you're going to get a definitive click out of every little thing all the time. Sometimes you will. In my experience with this lock in particular, that doesn't happen. You get little pops and little movements, and you just gotta take your time. It's easy to get frustrated with this one. Got a little bit of core rotation. Just going to double check that spring. Make sure it's fully set. Back to the inners and outers and all that good stuff. That might be all I can get out of the pins for right now. I'm going to go ahead and try and set the sidebar because when I torque on this, I can see the sidebar pins moving, and that's usually a pretty good indicator that you're just about ready. And we're only going to give a slight pop to each. Doesn't want to move. Just let off some tension. We don't want it to fly out. So don't put so much tension on it that the pin just jumps all the way to the left. Get that there. Is there any more moving? Yes, pin 5. I gotta find pin 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. No core movement, so it hasn't given up the ghost. That's why I got this light shining in here, so I can pop on the core and see which sliders are moving, which ones aren't. Get out of my vision. Alright. God blast it. I just screwed that up. Oh well, keep going. Nice pop out of R2. Nothing in the vicinity of 3, I don't think. Let's try the center of 4. Edge of 4, nothing. Nothing. Back to 1. To 2. Okay, I got some crooked sidebar action going on, or crooked pins from the thing. So we're going to come back to these and see what'll move, what won't move. Let's try and put these back without losing my progress. Maybe. The problem is that these sidebar pins are really hard to move generally once they've got tension on them. I can end up shearing these damn things off if I'm not careful. That would suck because I don't have any spares. Alright. Let's try and put them all back. We're going to go very light tension. Ooh. Ooh, nice deep pulse set. Okay, how far are we in? We are at like 10 minutes. Okay, so let's see if we can finish this off. I got the sidebar now. Let's try and find out which inner pin is holding up the show. This pick is very large, shafted, and it's getting hung up on things, which sucks. But fortunately, I should only have to just barely touch the one that's holding me up. I think I know which one it is. I think it's 3 or 2. Just for giggles, I'm going to check the sidebar. This deep of a ball set, these should all be stuck in pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure set. Alright. Keep going. I'm going to loosen up a little bit of tension, not much, because I don't want that sidebar to draw me back in. I want a chance at popping some of these pins. Yep. Not that one. It's not one. There's a little bit more motion after popping 2 again. Nothing happening with 3. Nothing happening with 4. Why won't you go? Ah, there we go. Right at about the 15-minute mark. All right, let's get this thing gutted. Lift up the camera. First black belt lock picked. certainly don't want to lose this one. Whew. All right. So I'm going to need two of the Sparrows pin mats. I wouldn't mind seeing a version of a Sparrows pin mat that's just one of these that's, maybe 8 high and wide enough for locks like this or something. I don't know, but let's go ahead and lock it back up. And we shall gut it. Assuming I can lock it back up. Oh. Key retaining. There we are. Hate this lock. Love this lock. It's a love-hate thing. Alright, so first thing with these NE10s is you got to get this plastic ring off. I've seen people try and take it off, but it's such a pain in the butt to put it on. Just slide it further up the lock body. You'll need to start by removing this, which is the retainer for the spacer for the shackle that holds the retaining pin for that in. Okay, so set the key in, open the lock, spacer falls out, the little plug holder falls in. Now this is where you want to be careful when you're taking this apart. Do not tip this over. This is a pain in the butt to put back together, as is this, really. If you're planning on putting the dust shield back in, lock it, take the key out, pull this out, because there's nothing that holds that dust cap and spring in. I've had to go searching for that spring before. So we're just going to set that aside. We're going to set the lock body aside. And we are going to take the back plate off. I can't believe I got it open on video on this thing. A little longer than I would have liked, and I apologize for that. Normally I like to open my locks in under 15 minutes, in under 10 minutes. Getting it right at 15 minutes isn't too bad, I guess. Other side. All right. I need this stuff for parts. Lock body parts will be over here. Just get them out of the way. Follower. Make sure you grab that sidebar. Alright, so we're going to set you right here for right now. And we're going to start by dumping out the pins. We're going to start with the alpha spring pin, which I'm just going to put right there. Now we're going to go pin 5. That's not how I wanted to do this. Okay. That's how I want to do it. I want it to look nice. Come on, it's my first black belt lockpicked. You there. You there. Get out. Come on. I probably could sort the pins later, but at this point I'm just happy to have gotten it picked. Pain in the butt lock. I had to progressively do it a couple times without the sidebar, without the key pins, without the alpha pin, just to figure out how this dang lock behaved. Alright. So that's all those pins. Now for the sidebar. And I'm going to show a close-up afterwards. I don't want to screw this up. I will show a close-up of all bits and pieces after. There's the sidebar and sidebar spring. And now we get to do the sliders. Alright, let's see. Drivers are going to end up going here. I'll put the springs up there, I guess. Yeah, I'll do that instead of using two of these. Alright, there's one slider. Oop, that was slider 3. God, those are big sliders. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so I will orient these so that they can be seen. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Punks. Whew, that's got some nasty serrations on it. Huh. Okay, there's the core. And now for the last. One driver on this spring. Monstrous looking springs. Not as big as the ones in some of the others, but come on. And these all are, the driver is spooled. No wonder I was having such a hard time. I'm actually impressed I got it in 15 minutes now after looking at all this shit. Excuse my French. Mad. These are all identical. I just realized I was putting them in the pinning tray backwards, but they're all the same, so it doesn't seem to matter. And now the last one is the one for the Smart, or Alpha, which is just a standard, wow, squared off driver pin here. We'll put that there. Put that there. That looks pretty. And the spring for that. Standard. Alright. Nothing else going inside the core. Let's pull in for a close-up. Focus. Focus. Alright. We can see that the sidebar channel is intact. Nothing weird going on with the core housing. Really nice machining on all this stuff. And see the channel where the alpha pin comes out, right in there. Nifty. And let's see how close this can get. I want to be able to show this stuff off, because it's really beautiful craftsmanship. I mean, for stuff that's machined. Alright. All the pins stay in frame. Looks like we're good. Sorry this is running really long, but I want to make sure that everything is shown off. Alright, so you can see the slider pins with their serrations and main gate and pin. I believe these are all serrated with false gates, yeah. And they're not the same. The false gates are depending on where the main gate is. Oops. Get back here. Run away. They have their channels and pins and everything else. Let's see. This one is serrated as well as is this one? I keep saying serrated, but it's actually false gates. Just so excited. If I wasn't so exhausted, I'd be bouncing off the walls. There we go. And now for the sidebar. Gates are intact. So I'd say that's official. First black belt lock. As far as the Reddit belt ranking it goes. Also my highest security lock I have ever picked. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it ran long. I really wanted to get it done and done right. Have a good day, folks. We're going to at least end in focus. Yeah. There we go. Bye-bye.